Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be exploring one of America's most familiar and enduring coins, the 1988 Jefferson nickel, featuring the P mint mark. This little 5-cent coin might seem like an ordinary piece of change, but it carries a fascinating story of design, history, and craftsmanship. From its origins in the early 20th century to its production in 1988, the Jefferson nickel continues to reflect America's heritage and the timeless image of one of its most respected presidents. So sit back, relax, and let's take a closer look at the 1988 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark. Historical background. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had circulated since 1913. It was designed to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The U.S. Mint held a public design competition in 1938, inviting artists from across the country to submit their designs. The winning entry came from Felix Schlag, a talented sculptor who created a portrait of Jefferson that was both realistic and dignified, along with an image of his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1988, the Jefferson nickel had already been in circulation for half a century, and while the basic design had remained the same, its charm and legacy were as strong as ever. Obverse design. Jefferson's portrait. On the obverse side, or front, of the coin, you'll find the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers. This image, originally sculpted by Felix Schlag, shows Jefferson in a dignified and calm pose, his gaze directed toward the left edge of the coin. Above Jefferson's head runs the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of his profile appears the word Liberty, followed by the year 1988, written in bold numerals. Just beside Jefferson's collar, you'll notice a small P mint mark, identifying that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This was only a few decades after the mint began using the P mint mark on nickels again, a practice that resumed in 1980 after years of absence. The portrait's fine lines and depth give Jefferson a lifelike presence, his hair, coat, and expression symbolizing the values of leadership and knowledge that he represented throughout American history. Reverse design. Monticello. Turning the coin over, we find the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Charlottesville, Virginia. This design has appeared on nearly every Jefferson nickel since 1938 and remains one of the most recognizable reverse designs in U.S. coinage. The classical architecture of Monticello is captured beautifully. The central dome, columns, and steps are rendered in fine detail, even on circulated coins. Above Monticello, you'll see the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, which translates to, out of many, one. Below the building, the word Monticello appears in capital letters, followed by the denomination 5 cents, and the country's name, United States of America. Together, these inscriptions remind us of America's unity and strength, while the building itself symbolizes Jefferson's intellect, creativity, and influence on the nation's development. Specifications and composition. The 1988 Jefferson nickel is made from a copper-nickel alloy, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to create a durable yet attractive silver-gray finish. It weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and features a plain edge. This composition has remained standard for nickels since 1946, after the wartime silver alloy nickels were discontinued. The combination of copper and nickel not only gives the coin a pleasing metallic color but also ensures resistance to wear, which is why Jefferson nickels from the 1980s still appear bright and sharp even decades later. Mintage and production. In 1988, the Philadelphia Mint produced an impressive 762,220,000 Jefferson nickels bearing the P mint mark. This high mintage means the coin was very common in circulation, used daily in shops, vending machines, and small transactions throughout the United States. Alongside Philadelphia, the Denver Mint struck over 700 million coins with a D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced a smaller number of proof coins for collectors. Because of these large production numbers, the 1988 P Jefferson nickel isn't considered rare, but that doesn't mean it lacks collector interest. Coins in high mint state condition, with full steps visible on Monticello, can still attract attention from numismatists. Collectability and value. So, how much is a 1988 P Jefferson nickel worth today? In circulated condition, most examples are worth their face value of 5 cents. However, uncirculated coins, especially those with sharp detail, clean surfaces, and a bright luster, can be worth 50 cents to $2 depending on quality. Collectors particularly seek coins graded MS 65 or higher, where even the smallest details of Monticello remain clear and undamaged. Coins with full steps designation, meaning all 6 steps on Monticello are visible and distinct, can command higher premiums, often between $5 and $20 or more in excellent condition. Proof coins from 1988, struck at the San Francisco Mint and bearing the S mint mark, are even more valuable, often selling for $3 to $10 depending on their condition and whether they remain in their original mint packaging. Circulation, condition, and color. In circulation, the 1988 P. Jefferson nickel often develops a soft, silvery gray patina. Some coins show slight toning or darker spots caused by oxidation over time. Well-worn examples have smooth surfaces, while uncirculated coins retain their original shine and sharp contrast between raised and flat areas. Collectors love finding bright examples with minimal wear, coins that almost seem frozen in time, just as they looked when they left the Philadelphia Mint back in 1988. Cultural and historical significance. The Jefferson nickel has always stood as a symbol of American innovation, architecture, and leadership. The 1988 issue continued that legacy, bridging history and modernity. For over 50 years, this design connected generations of Americans to the nation's founding values. Every time someone used a Jefferson nickel, they were reminded of the ideas of liberty, unity, and progress that Jefferson championed. By 1988, the coin had already survived decades of social and economic change, from the post-war years to the digital age, yet it remained a small but powerful emblem of American heritage. Final thoughts. The 1988 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark is more than just an everyday coin, it's a continuation of a proud American tradition. From its elegant portrait of Thomas Jefferson to the timeless image of Monticello, this coin reflects the artistry and symbolism that define U.S. coinage. While it may not be rare or particularly valuable in monetary terms, it holds great historical and educational value. Every detail, every letter, curve, and engraving connects us to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint and to a piece of America's story that endures in the palm of your hand. So next time you find a 1988 Jefferson nickel in your collection or change, take a moment to look closely. You're not just holding a 5-cent coin, you're holding a piece of American history.